David had survived 3 years of orbital mechanics, 2 failed relationships, and 1 catastrophic lab explosion. Nothing in his academic career at Luna Station's Institute of Xenobiology prepared him for Elsa. She arrived on a Tuesday, all 7 feet of her, with skin that shimmered like oil on water and eyes that held 3 distinct pupils arranged in a triangle. The housing authority had been apologetic. Interspecies Integration Initiative, they'd explained. You'll receive a modest stipend. Elsa was from Kepler 442b, a planet where water was sacred and rare, rationed by a governing AI that calculated every citizen's hydration needs down to the milliliter. She was a doctoral candidate studying human behavior, specifically recreational water use. David thought was the most boring thesis topic he'd ever heard. "I want to clarify something," Elsa had said on that first day, her translator chip rendering her melodic voice into flat English. "I am not attracted to humans. Your bilateral symmetry is aesthetically confusing, and your internal skeleton seems structurally unsound." "Great," David had replied, wondering why she felt the need to mention it. "I'll try not to be too devastatingly handsome." Her translator chip apparently didn't do sarcasm. She'd simply nodded and moved her minimal belongings into the spare room. The shower situation started on day 3. David had woken at 600 for his usual routine, stumbled toward the bathroom and found the door locked. Steam seeped from beneath it. He'd waited 20 minutes, then 30. At 45 minutes he'd knocked. "Occupied," came Elsa's voice, dreamy and distant. "For how long?" Time is a human construct. By the time she emerged, David was late for his apprenticeship at the biomechanics lab. Elsa had looked radiant, her chromatophores pulsing with colors he didn't have names for. It became a pattern. Every morning, every evening, and seemingly random intervals throughout the day, Elsa would sequester herself in the bathroom. The water bills became astronomical. David tried reasoning with her. "On your planet, you said water was rationed." "Exactly." Her pupils dilated independently, a gesture he'd learned meant emphasis. "Here it flows endlessly. Do you understand what that means to someone like me? It's like if you suddenly discovered breathable gold." "But my research." "Your research can wait. The human capacity for delayed gratification is well documented." She wasn't wrong, but it was infuriating. David started timing his showers for when Elsa was at the university. He began to recognize the subtle signs, the way she'd tilt her head toward the bathroom when stressed, how her skin would dull slightly when too many hours passed between showers. He found himself planning his schedule around her water obsession. His colleague Yuki found it hilarious. "Dude, she's obviously into you." "She literally told me humans are aesthetically confusing." "Right, and she spends 3 hours a day in your shower. That's definitely normal alien behavior." David had checked. Elsa's thesis was publicly available in the university database. Recreational water use patterns was indeed her topic, but the abstract mentioned nothing about prolonged shower observation. In fact, most of her research seemed to involve surveying humans about their bathing habits, not whatever this was. The breakthrough came during a solar storm warning. The station went into conservation mode, all non-essential water use restricted. David found Elsa in the living quarters, her skin muted to a gray pallor, her body language radiating distress. "Are you okay?" "I'm fine." She wasn't fine. Her translator chip added a tremor to the words. "The restriction is only for 6 hours." "I know the duration." Her pupils contracted to pinpoints. "On my world, I was a water theorist. I calculated rations. I determined who received water and who didn't. For 15 years, I made those calculations." David sat down slowly. "That sounds impossible." "It was necessary. Our aquifers were depleting. The AI needed organic oversight for ethical decisions." Her chromatophores flickered rapidly, a pattern he'd never seen. Do you know what it does to you? Measuring every drop, knowing that your efficiency means someone else's thirst. I was very good at my job, exceptionally good. So you came here. I came here because I couldn't anymore. She looked at the bathroom door like it was a portal to salvation. Your shower is the only place where water isn't a moral calculation, where I don't have to justify or ration or decide. It just is. David understood then. The shower wasn't about him or attraction or even research. It was therapy, absolution, a rejection of 15 years of impossible choices. For what it's worth, he said carefully, I think your thesis topic is brilliant. It's no excuse. My actual research is in applied ethics. That's even better. They sat in silence as the storm raged outside the station's magnetic shields. When the water restriction lifted 3 hours early due to improved solar conditions, David stood. Come on. Where? The recreational pool, 22nd floor, it's open all night. Elsa's pupils rearranged into a pattern that might have been hope. I'm still not attracted to humans. Good, because I'm not attracted to water theorists who monopolize bathrooms. She made a sound her translator couldn't interpret, but David suspected it was laughter. They became friends after that, real friends. Elsa still took long showers, but she started warning him in advance. She helped him with his biomechanics models. He proofread her ethics papers. Sometimes they'd meet at the rec pool after their shifts, not talking, just existing in proximity. One evening, 3 months into their cohabitation, Elsa emerged from the shower with her chromatophores displaying a pattern he'd never seen. Deep blues spiraling into gold. I've been thinking, she said. Dangerous. Bilateral symmetry isn't as aesthetically confusing as I initially assessed. David looked up from his research. That's the nicest thing anyone's ever said to me. I'm serious, David. Your species has a certain structural poetry. Is this still about water? No, her pupils aligned, all three focusing on him with an intensity that made his breath catch. This is about integration, the real kind. Outside their window, Earth hung in the void like a blue marble, a planet where water covered 70% of the surface, where showers were mundane, where two beings from different worlds could find common ground in the simple act of understanding each other's depths. David smiled. Want to talk about it over coffee? I'd prefer tea, and perhaps afterward we could discuss adjusting the shower schedule. Now you're just flirting. Her translator chip rendered her response perfectly. Maybe I am. And